My name is Rachel Scherzer and I'm at Otterbein University.
My name is Natalie and I'm the C2C Vista at the Delaware campus of Columbus State Community College.
I'm Carvour and I am the Vista leader with Ohio Campus Compact, so I'm over at our main office in Granville.
I think being a Vista and being on a campus and trying to figure out how that campus works and how you can build your program on that campus can be really challenging. And being sort of on your own, often as a Vista, you don't have colleagues that are close to your own age. So going to somebody to have a support system on your own campus can be challenging, but there are other Vistas that are around, and so being connected to those other Vistas can make a big difference in your term.
I think the hardest part of being a Vista for me is just how much this job has required me to be a self-starter. So I think that for my campus, we were in our very first year, and so I was basically coming in and creating a program from the ground up. I think that's really intimidating for a recent college grad with not a lot of full-time work experience to come in and lead a team, to build a campus culture of service, and those are just big responsibilities.
I think the hardest part is the fact that because we are on different college campuses, every campus has such a different environment. So we have a program that is a set model, peer engagement and civic engagement, but then when you try to bring it to a campus that already has its own atmosphere and campus environment, it's difficult to make it all look like a cookie cutter program.
I think for me it was definitely seeing the students that I worked with grow over the course of 2 semesters. So there are a lot of things that are frustrating about this job, but getting to watch my peer advocates gain better awareness of their community and really grow professionally was a constant reminder that I was indeed making a difference on my campus. Also just watching the students that my peer advocates and I worked with come out of their shell, or start a student org, or find a resource that we led them to that helped them was really great.
Diversity of experiences. I think as challenging as it is to have to be on this poverty level stipend and working through difficulties financially, the best part is you're getting work experience that challenges you and gives you experiences that other people who enter some entry-level job they don't get.
I think the best part about being a C2C Vista is that I get to do really meaningful work right out of university. So I think a lot of people have to go and get other degrees, but I came out of university in 2015 and have been working as an OCC Vista ever since, and I've gotten a lot of opportunity to learn about being in the nonprofit world and also putting those things that I've learned into action, and to be able to follow the social justice interests that I have and really make a difference in the lives of students and in the community.
Understanding what I have control over and what I don't. And I think when I started my term, Connie, who is the OCC office manager, she talked about if you don't have control over that, don't worry about it. And I think that's important to keep in mind as a Vista. We play a vital role in starting the program, but we are also people who are there for 1 year and we aren't paid very much. So I think it's important to remember only stress over what you can control and know that this isn't the be-all end-all experience. There's going to be more, so just have fun with it as much as you can.
For me, the best coping mechanism is to switch tasks when you're getting frustrated with one. So campuses have a lot of red tape, and as a Vista, a lot of your ideas may get turned down, and so I had to learn to not get too attached to any one idea and just to be as flexible as I can and not to take rejections too personally. So I think also reaching out to other Vistas to chat when you need to de-stress, and keeping a list of things to do on a rainy day or whatever, so that if your campus doesn't give you an assignment for a week, those are all great tasks to prevent you from getting bored or getting burnt out.
I think the best one that I found is being really self-compassionate and taking some time for self-care. I think it can be really easy to think about yourself as just someone who's there to get a job done and putting all of your effort into that, but it is a really challenging thing and you have to sustain that for a while. So being able to say to yourself that you're doing a good job, validate the work that you're doing, even if it doesn't seem like you're getting that from around you, and being able to think, well, I'm doing this really difficult thing and I put myself in this position, and being able to pat yourself on the back for that every once in a while, I think has been really helpful to me. And also just taking time to do what you like and what you're interested in, that are outside of work things, and not always just thinking about work, making sure that you're thinking about the rest of your life too, and the personal things that help keep you going. I think what I wish that I would have known earlier in my Vista year is that Vista is a job just like any other job. It feels like it has all of these like very important pieces to it about how you're changing the world, but a lot of it is day-to-day office work stuff. So being able to think about it in that way, that you have a job that you get to do really cool social justice things, but you also have to think about the sort of office-y parts of it, and that office-y parts of it you probably have a little bit of knowledge, or you have to figure out, and that there are going to be parts of it that you don't like, and there are going to be parts of it that you love, and sometimes you're going to be sitting and answering emails for hours, and other days you're going to be getting to do something that's really cool and engaging. And so I think the more you can think about it as like it's just like any other job, I think the easier time you have it, and really to like stick to the 40 hours if you can, that you shouldn't be being asked to do tons more hours if that's not what you're wanting to do. I mean, I do a little bit more than that because I enjoy going to events and programs and doing things after hours that are a little bit more fun that we do in our office, but that you shouldn't be expected to be working 50 hours a week on the salary that you're getting paid. So if that's happening to you, really you should be seeing what you can do to make that a little better for yourself.
Something I wish I'd known earlier, I think I've already touched on it, but is just to be as absolutely flexible as you can in a Vista position. You know, don't take failures too personally, and know that the work you're doing is important, even if things sometimes move slowly.
Yes, so I think I wish I had known about the importance of going ahead and trying to be a self-starter and taking on initiative. With Vista, you are presented with your VAD at the beginning of your service, and you go into a program and you know that in order for this Vista position to exist, someone had to apply for it, they must want you, but just because of those two things, it doesn't guarantee that things are going to move with the program. So for me, I wish I had been more confident and comfortable in starting things up on my own and pushing for things. So that kind of work wasn't in my wheelhouse, and still I don't feel great as a self-starter, but I would like to have pushed that skill ahead.
Yeah, I think my piece of advice would be to give the work your all, but also give yourself time to be okay with not completing really big, lofty goals. To set them and work towards them, but also understand that you only have so much time, and so those goals should be things that you should find people on your campus who want to be working towards them, and it should be something where you're working with other people towards those goals, and they shouldn't just be goals that are just for you to complete. So, and that working in a social justice related field like this, that sometimes there are things that are going to be really frustrating, and that doesn't mean that you aren't good at your job, that you are doing a really good job just being there and doing something, and creating anything you create makes a big difference, because if your job probably doesn't exist if you aren't there, so anything you do is going to make some kind of impact and going to be something that someone's going to be able to use in the future.
Okay, my best piece of advice for new Vistas is to take advantage of all the things that Vista has to offer. So yes, you're going to do amazing work on your campuses, you're going to make a big difference there, but also don't forget to seek out professional development opportunities that are meaningful to you, and to meet up with other Vistas in your area and go to networking and events, and just find ways to make Vista as right for your future goals as possible.
Okay, for new Vistas, I think the best advice I can give is to, when you are feeling disillusioned or disheartened about your work. Perhaps it's because you feel like you're not seeing any change happening through your work, or you're just kind of tired of being in a behind-the-scenes role. I like to think back to where Vista started from, so knowing that history of being a program created through LBJ's The War on Poverty. This program, Volunteers in Service to America, as a sister program to the Peace Corps, was created with the idea that we could fight, we could end poverty, but the key is that we had to rub up against institutions that are unfair. And if we think that, yes, like we are part of a proud institution and we are creating change, however slow, I think it's a lot easier to feel in touch with our work and know that we are making an impact.